So we got cut off by a call, and I was talking about the support columns on the screen porch, how they're sitting on precast footers on grade. Honestly, it's not technically correct, but I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. It looks very well built in all fairness. Let's see, the screen doors on the front and the side doors have damaged screen. Not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. Somebody with a spline tool can pull the spline out and put the screens back in place pretty easy. Think that they've just gotten pulled out. And if they are indeed torn and there's not enough screen's easy to replace. Roof, not a lot to mention there. Looks pretty good. Did they say how old it is?
It's relatively new.
It does look relatively new. Structurally in the attic looks good. There's no platform up there, so I had to view everything from the entrance. We have a couple of rules: can't walk in an attic on joists. We have to order trusses. We have to have a platform, and we're not supposed to walk roofs because we don't have the OSHA approved fall protection. So we have to look at things from the ground with zoom lenses. Anyway, the only thing I really noted, debris on the roof and in the gutters, which should just be cleaned off and cleaned out so you don't have backups and damages. Plumbing, okay, this house obviously built at a time when cast iron and galvanized drain lines were used, and there are some still under the house and in the home. There's a lot of it's been changed out to ABS and PVC, but there is some cast, and there's definitely cast iron leaving the house is the sewer main, which normally we don't look in, but to the left of the front porch, I could see the clean out, and the clean out cover is just a clamp on rubber gasket style, and it was loose. So I just pulled it open just to look inside, and it's not very far below the ground, which I think plumbers would probably disagree with. I didn't really put that in the report because it's really not for me to speak to. A lot of plumbers speak to it. But it is possible to freeze in the wintertime. Water could block up and create an ice dam if it's not far enough below the ground. But that's more of a code call, and we don't inspect the code, so I'll let the plumber make the call there. The thing I noted most is on the inside, it looks like it's pretty rusty on the inside of the drain. So, and it's a rare occasion that I actually get a chance to look at the inside of a cast iron drain. So since I saw it, I figured I would note it. I would probably have a plumber video scope all the cast iron and galvanized lines and see if they are starting to deteriorate on the inside, because they do go bad from the inside out. Obviously, water running on metal corrodes and rusts from the inside out. Which reduces the diameter of the inside of the pipe and eventually starts to block off. So I would have a plumber check that out. Exterior faucet on the front of the house needs to be screwed to the wall, pretty much like every other house. Surprised to find the one in the back actually screwed to the wall. The toilet gave a positive reading on the moisture meter for moisture at the base, so that's a wax ring seal failure indication. It wasn't a big moisture reading, and it's probably just water that has gotten past the seal. Easy enough to pull the toilet, check around it, make sure the subfloor is solid, put a new wax ring on, and reseat it. Pretty simple fix. The kitchen sink faucet sprayer is not working properly. It's broken. It has two buttons on it. One of the buttons has come off, and that's the button to switch it from stream to spray. And now that I've pushed that button, it doesn't want to go back to stream. Sorry, folks that are living here. But it's not working properly. So that should be fixed. Electrical, the overhead service from the pole to the house is noted in contact with tree limbs. And that, of course, can cause damage, pull them down in a storm, be a safety issue. Good news about that is that's Duke Power's job. That line is their equipment, so all that requires to be done is call them, and they're required to come cut the limbs back away from their service line. In addition to that, and Duke Power may be able to do something about this, so there's a board required statement in here. We have Zinsco equipment, and this is old breaker panel box, old meter panel. And back in the day when these were installed, they actually belonged to the power company. And I'm not going to read this entire paragraph, but basically there have been known defects to the interior of the breaker panel as far as where the breakers connect to the bus bars, which are what they connect to. But you can't see that unless you pull the breakers out. So this should be evaluated by an electrician. I see these all the time, working just fine with no problems. I grew up in a house with them, but I see it, and because they are dangerous to open, this particular model of box, and I worked as an electrician the last 2 years of college, so I know which ones are safe and which ones aren't. This is one of the ones the board would tell me don't open because of the potential to arc the cover against the hot connections when I go to remove it. So you're supposed to actually pull the meter out of the panel to kill it before you take that cover off, and I am not allowed to pull the meter. So I did not take that cover off. Electrician needs to evaluate it. But the good news is Duke Power has been known to pay for full replacement of those panels since it does belong to them. It doesn't hurt to ask. And then you would have all new equipment. Let's see. Some bulbs noted as burnout or missing. I actually call this the stupid statement because it goes on to say if replaced and fixture still doesn't function properly, consult an electrician for repairs, most likely just bulbs. But if you put a bulb in, it doesn't work, you call an electrician. Not all the receptacles in the kitchen are GFCI protected. That's ground fault circuit interrupter. That's shock protection, test and reset, shock protection receptacles. I've got in here noted as shock hazards in what area, though it wasn't required when the house was built. There is one, but not both of them. Let's see. The post light out front, there's an open hole in it that you can actually see and reach in and grab the wire. And there's a picture of that there. Probably, it's got an insulator on the wire, probably still wouldn't hurt you, but there's supposed to be a cover of some sort on those holes so that you can't get to the wire. Refrigerator receptacle is missing its wall plate, the cover plate. That's easy, just put a plate on there. The water heater connection, it's got a wrong type of conduit on it. It's got low voltage conduit stuff that's for like audio and video. It's not actually for, 110 or 220 electrical. And it doesn't have a secured connection where it enters the junction box on the top of the water heater. So that's a potential safety issue. And the attic fan.
Hey, quick question about the water heater.
Yeah.
She wants to probably change it out for a tankless. Any issues in doing that?
Well, it's an all-electric house, and electric tankless aren't really all that great.
Okay.
Gas tankless are awesome. Electrical tankless,
not that much of an improvement for the cost?
Not really that much of an improvement for the cost. Plus, you're going to have an electrician probably put in a sub panel because those things take like 4 40 amp double poles and they will make your meter spin.
Okay. Good information.
I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I would just leave it as is.
Perfect. Thank you.
And my plumber has told me the same thing. Don't do it. Just leave it the way it is. He doesn't like them either.
Okay.
If the plumber will talk himself out of money, it's probably not a good idea.
Okay.
All right, so in the attic, you have an attic fan, which I couldn't get to because it was well beyond the reach of the attic access and no platform, like I said. It does have an electrical connection that is not made up inside the junction box of the attic fan. Not that anyone would ever get to it to hurt themselves, but it's supposed to be technically put together inside that junction box.
For safety.
For safety.
Okay.
Yeah, just for safety's sake.
Not for function, just for safety.
Yeah, just for safety. You're not supposed to have wires with wire nuts just hanging out. You know, they're supposed to be covered and protected. It's not a lot to say about heating and air. It's only a 3-year-old system.
Good.
It's 2021, both interior air handler and outside. So that's a winner right there.
Yay.
Like 3-year-old Goodman. And it's working proper. Heat bout ran me out of the house quickly. AC passed a drop test, no problem. What's the one thing I found? The air filter's dirty. Always, air filter's always dirty. If it's clean, I'll faint from amazement. But I mean, that's easy to change. Matter of fact, there's a couple clean ones sitting in the closet. I should have just changed it. Then I wouldn't have to put it in a report. Interior, though not required when the home was built, recommend installing smoke detectors in the bedrooms for additional fire safety. Not required when the house is built, but you should have them now. There is one smoke detector in the hall, but it is broken and not functioning, so that one needs to be replaced too. Let's see, doors that don't latch, rub jams, have malfunctioning hardware should be adjusted for proper function. The coat closet and the mechanical closet, and by mechanical closet I mean the closet that has the air handler for the HVAC. That door also drags the floor. And all the closet doors in the bedrooms are bifold closet doors. They open and close like this. And basically all of them need adjustment. Some are out of the track, some are dragging the track. They're just not functioning properly. There's also some interior and exterior doors that have loose or are missing latch plate hardware, such as the side door deadbolt does not have the latch plate for the deadbolt. It's just in the raw wood. And the bathroom door, the strike plate has, instead of 2 screws, it just has one, and it's kind of swinging. It's latching, but it needs the other screw to keep it in place. Maybe getting nitpicky. Okay, here's where I said we were going to revisit the joist issue from section 1. There are some dips and sags noted in the floor. Potential indications of sediment or floor structure issues, see section 1. Normally with that statement, with a house of this age, I'm just like, it's dimensional lumber that's 54 years old. Dimensional lumber is going to sag, and you're just going to have that. If I hadn't found the cracked joist, then I probably wouldn't put too much more emphasis on it. Now, right there where you have the mechanical closet door and the bedroom closet door, there is a more significant sag there, and that's where that cracked joist is.
Okay. Can I walk and go feel? Will you show
Sure. Field trip.
Show me.
So you can feel some sag
Yes.
here, but then turn and walk in this door.
Oh, this door?
Yeah. Turn and walk in this door.
Oh, it does. I mean, it goes down.
Yep.
For sure.
Downhill. This is where the crack is.
Okay.
It's right here.
Now, would that whole joist need to be replaced, or can it be sister?
Sister.
Okay.
Yeah, no need to pull the whole thing out.
Okay.
And that's probably why that door is dragging.
Gotcha.
Well,
Oh, yeah. It stops right about there.
yeah. Alright, so let's see. Some door stops noted as broken or missing. Sounds silly, but if a door can swing around and bust a hole in the wall or do damage to an adjoining surface, it should have a door stop. There are a couple of stains. These are kind of curious. There's a couple stains on the ceiling in the laundry room. They kind of look like water stains. I did test one of them, and it didn't test as wet. It also kind of looks like it could be sheetrock. Like,
imperfections of some sort?
Well, I mean, they look like this.
Oh. Like
But-
maybe unfinished?
Yeah, it's possible that that's just what that looks like. Is there's a kind of sheetrock mud.
Yeah,
Bed.
it looks like it's a smear. Like
Yeah, and you can see the lines from like the putty knife.
Right.
So there's two types of sheetrock mud. There's regular joint compound that comes pre-mixed, but there's also powdered style, and that's called Durabond. And what that is it's fast drying,
Right.
and you mix it up, and you spread it in before it sets up.
Right.
But it doesn't set up white like joint
Right.
compound does. It sets up tan like
Yeah.
that. That's what that looks like to me. I think they had something there that they patched with that stuff,
Right.
and it just still looks dark. And it just needs, I would just sand it and paint it.
Okay.
I don't really think it's a water stain, honestly, but it looked curious.
Okay.
So, and then the last thing, Range does not have its anti-tip device installed, which is if you put the door down and child climbs on the Range, it won't tip it over on them, and that is a small Range, so it's pretty light. The good news is the anti-tip bracket is in the bottom storage drawer.
How convenient.
How convenient. So just need to install it. Doesn't matter right or left, as long as it catches one of the back feet to keep it from tipping and holds it down. But that is everything, in my opinion. No red flag runaway screamers. Yes, does the floor system need to be evaluated to make sure it's solid? Most of those joists that have rot on them probably don't need repair,
Okay.
because they are spot rot. Very doubtful that they've, matter of fact, Billy and I found, Billy's the pest guy, we found that there were a number of repairs down there already. And since he used to work for Tar Heel, it's his opinion, as someone who used to do that work, that it's already been remedied. And the other rot was probably already there, and they deemed them structurally sound enough to not need repair.
Gotcha.
But that cracked one does.
Do you think the spot rot, that's just moisture damage? From,
Yeah, probably past moisture
Okay.
damage. Because it's pretty dry down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Hey, dry's good for Ardmore.
yes, dry is amazing for Ardmore. That is not the norm. But yeah, I mean, foundation looks good. Otherwise, roof looks good. Heating and air is an obvious winner. The water heater is not that old either.
Okay.
So, I didn't read the serial number on it or look for the manufacturer's date. Not required to do that, really, truly. But, I mean, it looks like it's probably about the same age as the heating and air, if I had to guess.
Well, I think all the renovations were done kind of around the same
Yeah.
3 to 5 year mark kind of thing.
Yeah. But, yep. I mean, that's it. I mean, did a lot of talking, but for the most part, it's majority just nitpicky, typical nitpicky stuff. Not new houses have not new house stuff. This one's no different. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed. I really like this house.
Okay.
They did a good job with it. It's very attractive. The outside's very well maintained and redone.
Nice.
So
That's
yeah.
why they picked it.
This is a good way to end the week. I would have that sewer drain looked at.
Okay.
I would have that cast iron looked at, because you don't want that to become an issue over time, and you can see the deterioration down in the pipe.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, bye.